My name is Donald Trump, and I'm a big fan of Israel. And frankly, a strong prime minister is a strong Israel. And you truly have a great prime minister. In Benjamin Netanyahu, there's nobody like him. He's a winner. He's highly respected. He's highly thought of by all. And people really do have great, great respect for what's happened in Israel. So vote for Benjamin. Terrific guy, terrific leader, great for Israel. Well, look, my response is very simple. There is nobody on this stage that has done more for Israel than I have. Nobody. You might say, you might talk, your politicians all talk, no action. I've been watching it all my life. You are all talk and no action.
What is your stance on Israel and supporting them?
We will support Israel 1,000%. Israel feels so left alone. And I know Bibi, and I know a lot of my friends are from Israel, and they feel so left out. And so many people say, you know, I have so many Jewish friends where they say, why did I support Obama? I think he's the worst thing that's ever happened to Israel. And we will support Israel beyond anything they've ever had before. The Palestinians are ingrained with hatred toward Israel. And what I say is I'm very pro-Israel, as you know. You look, I was the Grand Marshal of the Israeli Day Parade at a time when it was very dangerous. They said, you have to be crazy to do it. I am very, very pro-Israel. Why aren't we getting repaid? Why aren't we taking oil? Why aren't we doing what we should be doing from a common sense standpoint? We bombed the hell out of Gaddafi's people. The rebels practically walk in because there's nothing left. And then they're going to say, oh, we won our war, we won the war. They didn't win it. NATO won it, meaning the United States won it, if you call it a win. But I don't call it a win. We should take the oil. At least we should reimburse ourselves as a country for the billions of dollars that we spent to make it possible for the so-called rebels, nice glamorous term, to take over Libya. So, we ought to get smart. We're a debtor nation. We're broke. We don't have money. And we're spending billions of dollars for rebels, okay? Rebels probably from Iran, if you want to know the real truth. So, we got to get smart. We got to run this country right. We're not going to have a lot of other chances. And while we're at it, we got to get at least paid back. Now, I'd go further than that. I'd say we should get 50% of their oil, period. But at least we got to get paid back from the oil. I like Sheldon a lot. He's been a person that I've known over the years. We have a very good relationship. And you know I'm self-funding. I don't want anybody's money. But
the only thing I can tell you is Sheldon Adelson is very well protected because I will take care of Israel. But his primary thing, I would say 99.99, is Israel. So
you pick up your cell phone and you call somewhere in Nebraska and you say, okay, let it go. So there's an atomic weapon goes over ballistic missiles in the middle of the desert that doesn't hurt a soul. Maybe a couple of rattlesnakes and scorpions or whatever. And then you say, see, the next one is in the middle of Tehran. So we mean business.
Our president will start a war with Iran because he has absolutely no ability to negotiate. He's weak and he's ineffective. So the only way he figures that he's going to get reelected, and as sure as you're sitting there, is to start a war with Iran. Now, I'm more militant and more militaristic than the president. I believe in strength. But to start a war in order to get elected, and I believe that's going to happen, would be an outrage. Iran can be taken down in many ways. Their population is in turmoil. They look at what's happening in Syria and other countries where it looked like it was an impossibility, and it looks like that one's going to collapse also. So Iran can be taken. I would never take the military card off the table. And it's possible that it'll have to be used because Iran cannot have nuclear weapons. But you've got to exhaust other possibilities. And we're in a great position to do it. They know, or they at least must know, that they're in a little bit of heat because there's a lot of pressure to attack. This is a great time to negotiate. Unfortunately, we have a president that doesn't know the first thing about negotiation. We have a real problem in the White House. So, I believe that he will attack Iran sometime prior to the election because he thinks that's the only way he can get elected. Isn't it pathetic?
Will you emphatically stand with Israel?
Yes.
Is the question.
Very simple answer. Yes. They've been our most reliable ally, especially in the Middle East. And you look at, what's happened with Israel. They were so against this horrible Iran deal. They were so against it. And I tell you what, Obama was the worst thing that's ever happened to Israel. You can look at it as he's not a good president and he's not doing a good job. And you look at Bibi Netanyahu, you look at what he has gone through. I mean, you could just see the level of exasperation on that man's face, how they just, the most basic things, they weren't winning anything. Why did we make a deal like this with these people? And they look at us like they have no respect for us whatsoever. They can't believe themselves that they were able to get this deal. I don't get it. I mean, I don't get it. There are a lot of theories out there, but I don't get it. This will be studied and studied for a long time. And this will prove to be a very bad deal. This will lead to nuclear proliferation 100%. Sure. I will totally protect Israel. They've been let down badly by the Obama administration. Israel will be very secure. If I win this election, believe me, Israel will be very, very secure.
What is your secret? Because we don't seem to have the hang of that.
The secret is that we have America.
Nah.
And America, you see, the point is that Israel, when it fights...
A lot of people ask, how is it possible that a Boeing plane would be able to destroy or two planes would be able to destroy the Twin Towers? Because they were constructed to withstand like a 707 attack.
Well, it's tremendous power and tremendous heat. And people were willing to die, and when they're willing to die and when they're willing to become kamikazes of a sense, there's very little you can do about it. I mean, the heat and the power, actually it was amazing that the initial jolts didn't jar the building as much as people would have thought. But the tremendous amounts of fuel that was dumped on the building and 1,600 degrees temperature, I guess that's probably more than anything could take, no matter what.
Tonight, Donald Trump taking his claims of what he saw on 9/11 to a new level.
I have a window in my apartment that specifically was aimed at the World Trade Center because of the beauty of the whole downtown Manhattan. And I watched as people jumped.
His penthouse in Trump Tower, located in Midtown Manhattan, 4 miles from where the World Trade Center once stood. Yet, despite the distance and the smoke billowing around the Twin Towers, Trump says he was able to see people jump. This is Trump's second questionable claim about 9/11 this week. Earlier, he said Muslims in New Jersey celebrated as the towers burned.
When the World Trade Center came tumbling down, and I watched in Jersey City, New Jersey, where thousands and thousands of people were cheering.
He says he saw it on television, but no video has ever surfaced. Jersey City officials say it never happened, but Trump says others saw it as well.
I start getting phone calls in my office by the hundreds that they were there and they saw this take place.
What about this question of advanced knowledge of what was going to happen on 9/11? How clear are investigators that some Israeli agents may have known something?
Well, it's very explosive information, obviously, and there's a great deal of evidence that they say they have collected, none of it necessarily conclusive. It's more when they put it all together. A bigger question, they say, is how could they not have known? Almost a direct quote, Britt.
It is now apparent that this intelligence ring was inside the U.S., had prior knowledge of 9/11, and had a classified role in 9/11, which officials refused to discuss. It was also able to penetrate U.S. intelligence agencies and secret offices, yet all were released. The men who were detained due to the report they were taping the first plane crash and then celebrating and joking about it actually went on television and admitted it was their job to record the attack.
And at that point, we were taken for another round of questioning, this time related to our allegedly being members of Mossad. The fact of the matter is, we are coming from a country that experiences terror daily, Our purpose was to document the event.
How could they have known about the attack? And who sent them to document it? The evidence points to a large intelligence network inside the United States that had teams on the ground, such as the ones recording the attack, and electronic surveillance teams gathering information.
First of all, there's nobody on this stage that's more pro-Israel than I am. Okay? There's nobody. I am pro-Israel. I was the Grand Marshal not so long ago of the Israeli Day Parade down Fifth Avenue. I've made massive contributions to Israel. I have tremendous love for Israel. I happen to have a son-in-law and a daughter that are Jewish, okay? And 2 grandchildren that are Jewish. But I didn't come here tonight to pander to you about Israel. That's what politicians do. All talk, no action, believe me.
Good evening. Thank you very much. I speak to you today as a lifelong supporter and true friend of Israel. I'm a newcomer to politics, but not to backing the Jewish state. In 2001, weeks after the attacks on New York City and on Washington, and frankly, the attacks on all of us, attacks that they were perpetrated by the Islamic fundamentalists, Mayor Rudy Giuliani visited Israel to show solidarity with terror victims. I sent my plane because I backed the mission for Israel 100%. In spring of 2004, at the height of the violence in the Gaza Strip, I was the Grand Marshal of the 40th Salute to Israel Parade, the largest single gathering in support of the Jewish state. I came here to speak to you about where I stand on the future of American relations with our strategic ally, our unbreakable friendship, and our cultural brother, the only democracy in the Middle East, the State of Israel. When I become president, the days of treating Israel like a second-class citizen will end on day one. And when I say something, I mean it. I mean it. I will meet with Prime Minister Netanyahu immediately. I have known him for many years and will be able to work closely together to help bring stability and peace to Israel and to the entire region. But when the United States stands with Israel, the chances of peace really rise, and rises exponentially. That's what will happen when Donald Trump is president of the United States. We will move the American embassy to the eternal capital of the Jewish people, Jerusalem. And we will send a clear signal that there is no daylight between America and our most reliable ally, the State of Israel. The Palestinians must come to the table knowing that the bond between the United States and Israel is absolutely, totally unbreakable. I love the people in this room. I love Israel. I love Israel. I've been with Israel so long in terms of I've received some of my greatest honors from Israel. My father before me, incredible. My daughter Ivanka is about to have a beautiful Jewish baby. In fact, it could be happening right now, which would be very nice as far as I'm concerned. So I want to thank you very much. This has been a truly great honor. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you very much.